From the very beginning, Amara and Liora were mirrors of contrasts. Born as twins yet as different as the day and the night, the world saw two faces, one radiant with kindness, the other shimmering with mischief. While Amara's heart reached out to every living being, Liora's spirit reveled in playful chaos, laughing at rules and boundaries. But life is a way of teaching lessons in the most unexpected forms. Through laughter, tears, mistakes, and moments of quiet reflection, the twins would come to understand a truth that many search for their entire lives, that true beauty does not lie in appearances, wealth, or talent. It lies in the courage to care, the strength to forgive, and the unwavering kindness of the heart. The morning sun spilled golden light across the twins' sprawling garden, where dew sparkled on emerald blades of grass like scattered diamonds. Amara, the black-faced twin, knelt beside a small, trembling puppy, her fingers gently brushing its fur as she whispered comforting words. Her eyes, warm and patient, radiated a quiet strength that seemed to hush the soft whines of the tiny creature. Liora, the white-faced twin, dashed past, a mischievous grin spreading across her face as she tossed petals into the air and giggled at Amara's tender attentions. The contrast between them was stark. While one embraced the world with a gentle heart, the other danced through it with boldness and playful rebellion. Their parents watched from the balcony, proud yet unaware that in these simple morning rituals, lessons far deeper than any book would teach were already taking root. School days were no less revealing. Amara, with her innate kindness, effortlessly formed friendships, offering a hand to those who struggled, comforting those who cried, and always sharing with a generosity that seemed instinctive. Liora, on the other hand, leaned into her mischievous streak, teasing classmates, bending rules, and laughing at the chaos she left behind. Yet, even amid the pranks and laughter, a quiet curiosity stirred within her. She watched how Amara's gentle words and small act of empathy drew people close, how her laughter was sincere and how others seemed drawn to her light in ways Liora had never experienced. At first, she resisted the feeling, attributing it to boredom or envy, but deep inside, a tiny seed of understanding began to sprout. Their first major challenge came during a collaborative art project. The twins, paired together, had to create a mural representing their vision of the world. Amara approached it with patience and care, inviting others to contribute and listening intently to their ideas. Liora, impatient and self-assured, insisted on doing things her way, her strokes bold and chaotic. Arguments flared, classmates whispered, and the teacher watched thoughtfully, knowing that these contrasting personalities would shape not just the project but the twins themselves. That evening, as the house settled into quiet and the stars shimmered above, the twins lay side by side, whispering secrets only they could hear. Despite their differences, a thread of love and connection ran between them, unspoken but undeniable. The first real test of their hearts arrived on the playground. A younger child tripped and fell, scraping a knee badly enough to start crying. Amara rushed forward without hesitation, soothing the child, cleaning the wound, and calling for help. Liora lingered, torn between amusement and admiration, her usual boldness faltering for the first time. She watched as Amara's actions drew other children to help, creating a circle of care that seemed effortless, almost magical. For the first time, Liora felt an unfamiliar warmth, an echo of pride mixed with longing. Though she didn't speak of it, she began to mimic Amara's gestures when no one was looking, small act of kindness that felt strange on her mischievous fingers but right in her heart. As years passed, these small differences became more pronounced, yet intertwined in ways only the bond of twins could allow. Birthday parties in opulent gardens, where laughter echoed under sunlight, revealed their contrasting natures in vibrant relief. Amara quietly arranged decorations, ensured everyone felt included, and noticed the unnoticed child tucked shyly in a corner. Liora entertained the crowd with her antics, drawing laughter and awe, yet she began to steal glances at her sister, feeling a tug she couldn't yet name. During a game of tag, when one child was accidentally left out, Amara knelt beside them, drawing them in with gentle words. Liora paused, observing silently, feeling a pang of understanding. She did not yet speak it aloud, but in that moment, a subtle transformation began. Even the simplest evenings by the fountain were lessons in humanity. The twins would sit together, watching the water ripple in golden light, talking in whispers that carried the secrets of their hearts. Amara spoke of dreams, hope, and the joy of helping, while Liora listened, at first impatiently, then with a quiet reflection that surprised even her. Slowly, she began to notice the way people gravitated toward kindness, how respect and admiration were drawn not from noise and attention but from genuine care. And though she was not ready to abandon her mischief, she felt the stirrings of change, a recognition that Amora's heart was powerful in a way she had never understood, and perhaps, in some secret part of herself, she wished to learn from it. The chapter closed not with dramatic revelation but with gentle anticipation. Liora had begun her journey inward, realizing that actions mattered, and that a heart that cared could move mountains, even if invisibly. Amara continued, unknowingly teaching, her life a quiet beacon of light that would, in time, illuminate the path for her sister. And somewhere between laughter and tears, chaos and calm, the seeds of kindness were planted in both hearts, ready to grow into a truth that neither twin could yet fully comprehend. Years had passed, and the twins were no longer the small children who had spent mornings in a sunlit garden. Amara and Liora had grown into young women, each carrying the essence of their childhood yet shaped by the paths they had chosen. Amora's heart, steadfast and unwavering, had only deepened in its kindness. She volunteered at community centers, tended to stray animals, and offered her time and energy to anyone in need, often unnoticed, but always impactful. Liora, once mischievous and brash, still enjoyed her playful antics, yet the influence of her sister's quiet power had left an indelible mark. She found herself hesitating before causing harm, sometimes even choosing the right course instinctively, though she would never admit it aloud. One afternoon, a sudden storm rolled in while the twins were walking along the cobbled streets of their neighborhood. The sky darkened, and rain began to fall, drenching everyone in moments. A young boy, struggling to carry a basket of groceries, slipped and tumbled into a puddle. Without hesitation, Amara sprinted forward, catching the basket, steadying the boy, and guiding him to shelter. Liora followed moments later, hands instinctively helping, though she muttered complaints under her breath. Watching her sister, Liora felt a rush of admiration, a mixture of humility and recognition that this act of caring, of stepping into someone else's struggle, was more beautiful than any attention she had ever garnered through mischief. The storm intensified, forcing the twins to seek refuge under the awning of a nearby cafe. Inside, people huddled together, some cold, others anxious. Amara began helping an elderly woman with her dripping coat, smoothing the fabric and offering warm words. Liora, at first fidgeting with impatience, found herself drawn into the scene, assisting a child who had been frightened by the thunder. A quiet understanding began to bloom within her. Kindness, selfless and sincere, had a gravity that mischief never could. The warmth it created in others reflected back in ways that laughter alone could not achieve. Days turned into weeks, and moments like these accumulated. At school, Amara's quiet leadership and empathy had become legendary. Liora's playful nature was still known, but now it was tempered by acts of generosity she had begun to take for granted. The turning point came during a charity event at the local community hall. The twins were tasked with organizing activities for underprivileged children. Amara meticulously planned, ensuring every child felt included, every activity accessible, every smile genuine. Liora initially approached the event with her usual flair, arranging games with energetic chaos. But as the day unfolded, she witnessed a profound impact of Amara's steady, compassionate guidance. Children gravitated to Amara, yes, but they also responded to the small gestures Liora had begun to adopt: patience, encouragement, and gentle praise. Later that evening, as they walked home under the golden hue of sunset, Liora broke her silence. "I never realized kindness could be this powerful," she said softly, almost afraid her words would vanish into the wind. Amara smiled, her eyes reflecting a quiet understanding, not as a lecture, but as a gentle affirmation. "It's not something you realize overnight," she said. "It's something you carry, something you practice, and sometimes it finds its way into your heart even when you're not paying attention." Liora nodded, feeling the truth of the statement resonate deep within her, a truth she had resisted but could no longer ignore. The following months tested their resolve. Life, as it often does, presented challenges that demanded more than simple gestures. A close friend faced illness, a family member experienced loss, and the twins themselves encountered failures that shook their confidence. Each trial revealed the stark contrast between acting for recognition and acting from the heart. Amara continued with unwavering dedication, while Lyra, now understanding the quiet beauty of compassion, approached each moment with a balance of a natural vivacity and newly embraced empathy. One night, under a canopy of stars, the twins sat by the fountain of their childhood garden. Silence enveloped them, a peaceful pause from the chaos of life. Lyra finally voiced a thought that had been blossoming for months. "I see it now. All this time, I thought being clever, being noticed, was what mattered. But it's not. It's a heart that gives, the hand that helps, the soul that understands without asking." Amara reached for her sister's hand, squeezing it gently. "Kindness," she whispered, "is a true beauty. It doesn't fade, it doesn't ask for applause, and it outshines everything else." Lyra's eyes glistened, reflecting the realization that had quietly matured within her. From that moment on, the twins' bond transformed into a shared mission. They still laughed, played, and embraced their differences, but their actions were now aligned by the understanding that kindness was the foundation of beauty, of respect, and of true connection. Amara's natural empathy and Lyra's lively spirit combined to touch lives in ways neither could have achieved alone. The world around them seemed brighter, not because of wealth or appearances, but because the twins had discovered the unshakable power of hearts that cared deeply, without expectation and without end. The chapter closed with the twins walking through their garden at dusk, shadows stretching long across the grass. The golden light reflected off their faces, and in that moment, the contrast between them seemed irrelevant. What mattered was a reflection of their hearts, intertwined and stronger for the journey they had taken together. Kindness, they realized, had been the true beauty all along, and with it, they would carry a promise, an unspoken vow to live, love, and inspire with the generosity of their hearts. As the twins reflected on the journey of their lives, they realized that true beauty had never been about appearances, cleverness, or attention. It was in the quiet acts that went unnoticed, the hands that reached out without expectation, and the hearts that chose to care even when it was easier to look away. Amara had always embodied this truth, her gentle actions and unwavering empathy serving as a beacon not only for her sister but for everyone who crossed her path. Lyra, once captivated by mischief and the thrill of being noticed, had gradually understood that the laughter born from genuine kindness was far more powerful than any applause she could summon through pranks or cleverness. The realization dawned on her slowly, softly, but with an undeniable clarity that would forever guide her choices. They came to understand that kindness was not just an action but a reflection of the soul. It had the power to heal wounds, bridge divides, and inspire change in ways that force or fame never could. It did not demand recognition, nor did it diminish in the face of ingratitude. Every gesture of care, no matter how small, left an imprint, sometimes visible, often invisible, yet always meaningful. The twins saw how their combined strengths, Amara's calm compassion and Lyra's spirited energy, could touch the world in ways neither could achieve alone. Where one brought stability, the other brought vitality, and together they formed a balance that radiated beauty far beyond physical appearances. Life continued to test them, as it does for everyone, but the lessons they had learned became guiding principles. Lyra discovered that her influence could now create joy rather than chaos, that her energy could uplift rather than unsettle. Amara's steady kindness continued to ripple outward, touching lives in countless subtle ways. Both understood that beauty was not a possession but a responsibility, a choice to act with generosity, empathy, and understanding every day. The promise they had made silently to themselves and to each other was simple yet profound: to live with hearts open, to extend care without hesitation, and to honor the truth that kindness was the essence of human connection. Looking back, the twins realized that every conflict, every moment of laughter, every silent observation had been a lesson. Lyra's mischievous beginnings had been a necessary contrast, a catalyst for growth, and a mirror for Amara's unassuming brilliance. And Amara's gentle guidance had been the quiet light that led Lyra toward the understanding that the world's most lasting beauty lies not in wealth, fame, or talent, but in the courage to act with a heart that loves and forgives. Together, they had discovered a truth that would endure long after childhood games, playful arguments, and fleeting moments had passed. Kindness is a legacy worth leaving, the treasure hidden within every soul, and the power that can transform lives in ways nothing else can. As they walked through the garden of their childhood one last time, hand in hand, the golden light of sunset reflected their journey back at them. No words were needed. The twins knew, in the deepest part of their hearts, that the final promise they had made to each other, to carry kindness wherever they went, was the greatest beauty they would ever possess, the one lesson that would guide them through every storm, every joy, and every chapter of life to come.